If you found this video tonight, it isn't random. Something beyond coincidence has brought you here, as if the universe itself has gently nudged you to this very moment. Perhaps you felt it before a quiet tug that defies explanation, like a soft vibration just beneath the surface of ordinary life. It calls not with noise or urgency, but with the hush of possibility, inviting you to lean and listen. Imagine for a moment that every choice, every breath, every flicker of thought is a thread of light in a vast tapestry. You cannot yet see the entire pattern, but you can sense its presence in an intricate design slowly revealing itself. Ancient mystics once described destiny as a river, sometimes smooth, sometimes turbulent, yet always flowing toward a hidden ocean. Modern physics offers a startling echo of this wisdom in the observer effect, where simply noticing something changes its behavior. Could your very act of watching, of being here now, be shaping the path ahead? Consider how the stars themselves were once dust, scattered and aimless, until the pull of unseen forces gathered them into brilliant constellations. In a similar way, your life may be responding to forces you cannot yet name, subtle alignments, quiet opportunities, the mysterious rhythm of something larger at play. Perhaps this is what we mean when we whisper of a quantum calling, a pattern that does not bind you, but invites you. Close your eyes and think of the moments that brought you here. A late-night curiosity, a random suggestion, a sudden feeling that you needed to pause and listen. Each step might appear accidental, yet together they create a trail of luminous breadcrumbs, each one glinting with quiet purpose. Just as a single photon can alter the outcome of an experiment simply by being observed, your awareness now begins to alter the story you are living. This isn't about fate as something fixed and unchangeable. It's more like a dance, a dialogue between your choices and the hidden intelligence of the cosmos. The quantum world reveals a reality that is not a cold machine, but a living conversation. Every thought, every heartbeat is a question whispered to the fabric of existence, and every coincidence, every unexplainable nudge may be the universe answering back. Perhaps you've sensed it in small ways. A song that arrives just when you need it, a chance meeting that alters your perspective, a sudden clarity that seems to come from nowhere. These are not mere accidents. They are the gentle footprints of something vast, reminding you that you are part of a greater design. An ancient traditions spoke of a thread of destiny, a golden cord connecting every soul to the infinite. Today, quantum physics gives us a modern metaphor: entanglement. Particles once connected remain mysteriously linked across any distance, their fates intertwine beyond space and time. In the same way, you may be entangled with possibilities yet unseen, with futures that quietly shimmer just beyond the horizon of your awareness. And so, when you feel that inexplicable tug, a whisper that says there is more to know, that you are not imagining it. It is the universe's way of drawing you closer to your own unfolding. This calling does not demand, it invites. It does not shout, it beckons like a gentle tide, asking you to trust the pull of something greater than yourself. Notice how, even now, your curiosity stirs. A part of you leans forward, eager to understand what this calling might mean. This is no accident. It is the beginning of a conversation between your consciousness and the mysterious field that holds every possibility. The moment you listen, the pattern begins to shift. Think of yourself as both traveler and co-creator. The path ahead is not written in stone. It responds to the light of your attention, just as the quantum world responds to the gaze of the observer. Your destiny is not a cage. It is a living, breathing potential and an unfolding story shaped by wonder and willingness. Perhaps this is why you have arrived here tonight. In the quiet hours when the world sleeps and the veil between thoughts grows thin, something within you is ready to awaken, to remember the subtle bond between your inner world and the cosmos beyond. This is the whisper of a quantum calling, a reminder that you are both part of the pattern and the one who helps it emerge. As you let these ideas settle, you may feel a gentle anticipation, as if standing at the threshold of a vast and unseen reality. The journey has only just begun. To understand the nature of this calling, we must first explore what it means to carry a quantum destiny, and how that destiny is already unfolding within you. Destiny has often been spoken of as if it were a map already drawn, a path traced long before our first breath. Yet, when we look closer, both through the lens of ancient wisdom and the discoveries of modern physics, this picture begins to shift. Destiny reveals itself less as a single road and more as a living field, alive with possibilities, waiting for our conscious touch to glimpse what this truly means. Imagine the universe not as a static stage where events merely unfold, but as a vast ocean of potential. Each wave of that ocean carries countless futures. Nothing is fully formed until it is observed. And this is more than a poetic metaphor. In the heart of quantum theory lies the observer effect, a principle that continues to puzzle scientists and inspire seekers alike. At its core, it tells us that the very act of observation, of paying attention, changes the outcome of an event. Picture a tiny particle existing in a haze of possibilities. Before it is observed, it is everywhere and nowhere, a cloud of potential states. The moment it is measured, it chooses a position, as though awareness itself nudges it into form. This is not a whimsical tale from the edges of science. It is a phenomenon tested and confirmed in laboratories. And within that mystery rests a quiet invitation. If even the smallest particle responds to observation, might the larger patterns of our lives respond to the quality of our attention. Ancient traditions seem to sense this long before the language of quantum physics existed. In the Upanishads, those timeless Indian texts of spiritual inquiry, reality is described as a single, undivided consciousness, Brahman, where the inner self and the universe are one. To focus the mind, to hold an intention, was to participate in creation itself. The Stoic philosophers of Greece and Rome, in their own way, spoke of providence, a rational order that responds to our alignment with virtue and wisdom. Though separated by cultures and centuries, both perspectives point to the same shimmering truth. Destiny is not a rigid script. It is a dialogue. Think of your life not as a story already written, but as a conversation with the cosmos. Each thought, each quiet intention is a word spoken into that dialogue. When you hold an intention, whether it is a vision for healing, a dream of love, or a call to purpose, you are not merely wishing. You are offering a signal into the field of possibility. The universe, in ways both subtle and profound, responds. Sometimes the response is immediate. Other times it unfolds in ways that reveal their meaning only with time. This is what we mean by quantum destiny. It is not destiny in the old sense, where everything is fated and unchangeable. Nor is it mere chance, as if life were a random roll of dice. Quantum destiny lives in the mysterious space between. It is the meeting point where personal intention and infinite potential dance together. Your choices, your focus, your willingness to believe all become currents in that dance. To understand this more deeply, consider how your attention has shaped your own past. Perhaps there was a time you held a vision so clearly that the world seemed to rearrange itself to meet you halfway. A job that appeared at the perfect moment, a relationship that felt inevitable once it began. Were these mere coincidences? Or were they subtle proofs that your consciousness was already participating in the unfolding of your path? Modern science cannot yet explain every nuance of these experiences, but it continues to find echoes of them. Studies in quantum physics reveal that reality, at its most fundamental level, is not a solid, unchanging block, but a dance of probabilities. Even the act of measurement collapses those probabilities into something tangible. Likewise, when we give our attention to a desire, when we hold a clear and open-hearted intention, we are, in some way, choosing which possibility will come alive. This is not about controlling the universe or bending reality to the ego's will. It is about partnership. It is about recognizing that we are not passive passengers on a pre-written ride. We are co-creators, whispering with the infinite through the simple act of awareness. The more we cultivate presence, the more our intentions become like seeds planted in fertile ground, and so quantum destiny is both scientific and sacred. It bridges the rigor of physics and the poetry of ancient wisdom. It speaks to the seeker who longs for meaning, and to the dreamer who feels there is more to life than random chance. It invites you to relax into a larger trust, while also stepping forward as an active participant. As you let these ideas settle, notice how the question naturally arises. If destiny is truly a field of possibilities, how do we consciously enter it? How do we move from understanding the concept to living it? That is the next step in our journey, one that begins just beyond the horizon of this thought, where the quiet power of intention meets the boundless potential of the universe. The observer effect. You are the catalyst. Imagine standing in a garden at dawn. The air is cool, the earth damp with dew. You pause, simply noticing the delicate curve of a leaf, the gentle tremor of a petal in the breeze. In that quiet moment, something subtle begins to happen. Your attention itself feels like sunlight, and though you may not see it immediately, the garden responds. The observer and the observed share a silent dialogue, your presence shaping the very life you admire. This simple scene whispers a truth that reaches far beyond blossoms and soil. What you watch, you influence. In the realm of quantum physics, this truth is more than poetic. Decades ago, scientists designed experiments to study the tiniest building. Blocks of matter, electrons and photons, particles so small they dance on the edge of existence. In these experiments, something baffling emerged. When researchers tried to measure a particle's location or path, the mere act of observing changed the result. The particles behaved differently, as if aware of the watchful eye. The universe, it seemed, was not a machine humming blindly in the dark. It responded to being seen. This revelation, known as the observer effect, challenged everything we thought we knew about objectivity. Scientists expected the universe to be indifferent, a stage on which matter and energy performed with predictable certainty. Yet, when observation entered the scene, reality itself shifted. The line between experimenter and experiment blurred, suggesting that consciousness and matter are woven together in ways we are only beginning to understand. At first, this might feel distant, a phenomenon reserved for physicists in white coats and vast laboratories. But pause for a moment, and you may sense its echo in your own life. Consider how the simple act of paying attention can change the texture of your day. When you truly listen to a friend, their words deepen. When you watch your own breath, your heart rate softens. Attention is not passive. It is creative. Like a gardener's gaze, it nourishes whatever it rests upon. Think about how thoughts themselves respond when you observe them. A racing worry, when caught in the gentle light of awareness, often dissolves or reshapes. A dream you hold quietly in your mind begins to draw opportunities toward it, like iron filings to a magnet. This isn't wishful thinking. It's the subtle physics of consciousness at work. Your awareness is not a background spectator. It is an active force across cultures and centuries. Ancient traditions have hinted at this truth long before science found language for it. Mystics spoke of the mind's ability to shape reality. Sages taught that attention is like a seed of creation, carrying the potential to transform both inner and outer worlds. Whether in the stillness of a Zen garden or the rhythmic chants of a Vedic hymn, the message endures. What you focus on grows. Modern life often trains us to scatter our attention, to rush from moment to moment without noticing how our thoughts sculpt the day. Yet every time you pause to witness your own mind, every time you bring awareness to the present, you engage in the same mystery those quantum experiments revealed. You become a participant in creation, not a bystander. Your gaze, your thoughts, your quiet, noticing all of it, becomes a subtle catalyst. Picture a candle in a dark room. At first, the flame flickers unnoticed. But as you draw near and watch closely, the flame steadies, its glow expanding as if it recognizes your presence. This is how reality responds to conscious attention. Whether it's the cells of your body or the unfolding of a dream, observation carries power. It invites coherence, order, and growth, where before there was only potential. You might ask, if observation can shape the tiniest particles, what might your focused awareness shape in your own life? Each time you observe a habit with compassion, instead of judgment, you change it. Each time you hold a vision for the future and tend it with patient attention, you invite that future to take form. Like the gardener who waters a seed not yet sprouted, your presence calls unseen possibilities into being. This understanding is not a call to control every outcome, nor to burden yourself with the weight of creating perfection. It is an invitation to participate gently, deliberately, in the unfolding of your own reality. To notice that your thoughts, far from being random noise, carry the quiet potency of creation. The observer effect is not only a principle of physics, it is a mirror of the human spirit's capacity to shape its world. As you breathe in this awareness, you may feel a subtle shift inside. Life no longer appears as something happening to you, but as something happening through you. The garden, the candle flame, the dance of particles, all reveal the same truth. You are not merely watching reality. You are part of the equation. You are the catalyst, ancient echoes, timeless wisdom of the seers. Step softly with me now, as if the night itself has opened a quiet passage through time. Imagine the stars overhead stretching into an endless canopy, each one a silent witness to the seekers who came long before us. Their voices drift like distant music, Egyptian priests chanting in dimly lit temples, Vedic sages reciting verses by the glow of sacred fires, Greek philosophers debating beneath the marble columns. They spoke different tongues, yet their whispers carry the same secret, that consciousness itself shapes the reality we touch. Close your eyes and picture the banks of the Nile. Under a sky streaked with silver moonlight, the temple of Karnak stands proud, its columns etched with symbols that breathe of mystery. Within its shadowed halls, the ancient Egyptians spoke of the Ka, the vital essence, the invisible double of the self. To them, life was more than flesh and bone. The Ka was the unseen current, a spiritual twin that traveled beyond death, proof that what we call self cannot be confined to a body. Their rituals were more than ceremony. They were dialogues with the unseen. Each offering, each chant, was a quiet acknowledgement that the inner world and the outer world are entwined in ways that defy simple explanation. Far to the east, beneath skies heavy with the fragrance of monsoon rains, the Vedic sages of ancient India gathered in forest clearings. Their sacred hymns, later woven into the Upanishads, spoke of Brahman, the infinite consciousness that breathes life into every atom. They taught that the individual soul, the Atman, is not separate, but a reflection of this vast cosmic mind. In their gentle cadence, they invited listeners to turn inward, to find the universe mirrored in the stillness of their own being. Tattvam Asi, you are. That was their quiet revelation. It was more than a teaching. It was a key to awakening, a recognition that the boundary between observer and observed is but a dream. Now travel with me to the sunlit courtyards of ancient Greece. Philosophers like Plato and Pythagoras contemplated a universe where ideas and forms shape what we call real. Plato spoke of a realm of perfect forms, where every material thing is but an echo of a greater, invisible pattern. Pythagoras heard harmony in numbers and believed the cosmos itself was music. They sensed that thought is not merely a shadow of matter, it is the seed from which matter grows. Their musings were the early language of what we now call the observer effect, long before modern physics gave it a name. As these ancient echoes mingle, a thread begins to shine. The Ka of Egypt, the Brahman of the Vedas, the ideal forms of Greece each point to the same hidden truth. Reality is more than what meets the eye. Across deserts and oceans, across centuries and empires, humanity has always sensed that consciousness is not a bystander, but a participant in creation. The cultures never met. Their scrolls and chants never crossed paths. Yet, like rivers flowing from distant mountains, their wisdom joins in a single ocean of knowing. Listen closely to this silent conversation across time. It is as if the ancients are leaning toward us, their voices softened by the wind of centuries. They are not relics of a forgotten age, but companions on our journey. Their insights are not bound to stone tablets or fading papyrus. They live in the questions we still ask. Who are we beyond the body? What force stirs the stars and the human heart alike? Could it be that the very act of observing shapes the reality we see. These seers invite us to see ourselves not as isolated travelers, but as heirs to an ancient lineage of curiosity. When we meditate, when we pause and sense the quiet presence behind thought, we stand shoulder to shoulder with those who lit fires in temples and whispered hymns to the night. Their wisdom does not demand belief. It invites experience. Like keys hidden in plain sight, their teachings unlock doors in the heart, revealing a spaciousness where the personal and the cosmic meet. So, as you sit in the stillness of this moment, let these echoes settle into your own awareness. Feel the continuity, the unbroken line of seekers stretching from the dawn of civilization to the quiet now. Their message is simple and profound. The power to shape reality has always lived within the observer. This is not a discovery of modern science alone. It is a remembrance, a truth carried through millennia like a flame passed from hand to hand. And as the night deepens around you, hold this flame gently. For the wisdom of the ancients is not only history, it is invitation. It calls you to see that the same consciousness they honored is alive in you. Their keys remain, waiting to unlock your own power of manifestation. In the next chapter of our journey, we will turn those keys and watch as the invisible becomes real. Manifestation as quantum art. Imagine for a moment that reality isn't a fixed stage, but a shimmering ocean of possibilities, an infinite field, where countless outcomes wait patiently for a single note of focus to bring them into form. This is not a fanciful metaphor. Modern physics calls it the quantum field, a realm where particles exist as pure potential until they are observed. When you practice manifestation, you are not merely daydreaming. You are stepping into the role of a conscious observer, shaping the flow of energy with the brushstrokes of your awareness. Think of your thoughts as tuning forks. Each one vibrates with a frequency, and that vibration interacts with the hidden layers of reality. When your mind is scattered, the signal you send is faint and muddled. But when intention becomes clear, when desire sharpens into a single unwavering note, the universe listens. In the quantum world, observation does not simply watch, it participates. Your focused attention is the artist's brush, collapsing possibilities into a tangible pattern of experience. Consider the countless stories whispered through time. The artist who envisioned a gallery show years before the invitation arrived. The entrepreneur who pictured a specific opportunity, only to find it unexpectedly offered the next morning. The traveler who imagined a chance encounter and met exactly the right person at exactly the right place. To those living inside these coincidences, it often feels like magic. Yet, from the perspective of quantum potential, it is the natural consequence of focused consciousness in laboratories. Scientists have watched subatomic particles respond to the mere act of being measured. This is the observer effect, proof that The universe is not a static machine, but a responsive dance. Your life, too, responds when you bring the same kind of deliberate observation to your desires. The clearer your mental image, the more definite the ripple you send across the unseen sea of probabilities. Manifestation, then, is less about forcing events and more about attuning yourself to the subtle music already playing beneath the surface of ordinary reality. It is the art of becoming so aligned with a desired outcome that the universe cannot help but echo it back. Like a painter mixing colors to capture the perfect hue. You combine emotion, belief, and vision until they create a single resonant tone. But here lies the deeper invitation. This is not about controlling life or bending the world to the ego's will. True manifestation flows from harmony, not demand. It asks you to become a precise observer, one who listens as much as they declare. When your inner world is calm and receptive, when your thoughts move like a gentle tide rather than a storm, the quantum field reflects that clarity. Imagine sitting at the edge of a still lake at dawn. The surface mirrors the sky so perfectly that even a whisper of movement sends ripples across its glassy calm. Your consciousness works the same way. Every thought is a pebble cast into that lake, every feeling a subtle breeze across its surface. The patterns that arise are not accidents. They are the visible traces of your inner state. As you practice this quantum art, you begin to notice how your inner dialogue sculpts your outer life. The more you nurture clarity, gratitude, and trust, the more effortlessly synchronicities appear. These are not coincidences, but quiet confirmations that you're focused. Awareness is shaping the canvas of experience, so manifestation becomes a dance between you and the quantum field, between intention and surrender. You are both artist and witness, shaping and being shaped, listening and creating. And as this dance unfolds, a question stirs gently in the mind. If your focused observation has the power to collapse infinite possibilities into reality, how will you prepare your inner world to be the most precise, the most luminous observer it can be? Inner alignment, the quiet power of presence, is the art of simply being here. In this exact moment, unguarded and fully awake. It isn't about forcing the mind into stillness or trying to escape your thoughts. To notice the quiet rhythm already pulsing beneath everything. Imagine it as a gentle tide moving in and out. Each breath you take becomes a soft wave, carrying you deeper into a state where time loosens its grip and the noise of the day begins to dissolve. When you pause to breathe and let awareness settle, it sharpens. Sounds become crisper, sensations more vivid. A simple inhale draws you into the present, and with each exhale, the mind's restless chatter fades a little more. This isn't a performance or a task, to perfect. It is a natural homecoming. Presence is what remains when the struggle to be somewhere else quietly falls away. Picture your awareness as a still pond. The surface mirrors the sky, perfectly smooth, untouched by wind. Every thought or intention you place upon that pond creates a ripple, a subtle signal the universe can feel. In this calm, your desires don't need to shout. They move outward in soft, concentric circles, effortlessly carrying your intentions across the unseen field of possibility. The universe responds not to noise, but to clarity. And clarity blooms in stillness. Breath is the simplest doorway into that stillness. It requires no equipment, no elaborate rituals, just you noticing. Inhale slowly, feel the cool air glide in, pause, and exhale as warmth leaves your body. Each cycle draws you closer to the quiet hum of now. You might imagine the breath as a tuning fork. With every inhale and exhale, your energy vibrates closer to the frequency of your deepest intentions. This gentle alignment is how the quantum field recognizes the song of your destiny. There is a quiet power in these small moments. By simply noticing the sensation of air against your skin, the weight of your body resting on the earth, or the rhythm of your heartbeat, you begin to reclaim your inner landscape. This isn't about silencing thoughts completely. Thoughts will come and go like passing clouds. It's about letting them drift without clinging, watching them soften until they no longer pull you away from now. Presence is not a retreat from life. It is an awakening to it. As you practice, you'll sense the way every detail, every flicker of light, every subtle sound contains a kind of luminous guidance. The world becomes both more mysterious and more intimate. This is where manifestation truly begins, not in frantic wishing, but in the quiet recognition that you are already part of the greater pattern unfolding. When the mind grows still, intuition speaks. It doesn't shout or demand attention. It whispers like a soft breeze through tall grass. These nudges may arrive as a sudden idea, a gentle knowing, or a feeling that tugs you in a certain direction. The more present you become, the more easily you recognize this subtle language. It is the voice of the quantum field, a current of wisdom beyond a rational mind, guiding you toward the opportunities and connections your destiny requires. Trusting this guidance is an act of inner alignment. It asks you to listen without rushing to explain, to let insights settle before you act. Over time, these intuitive sparks become familiar companions. You begin to notice how they align perfectly with the intentions you've set when your mind was clear and your heart was steady. Presence creates the space for these synchronicities to emerge, weaving the unseen with the seen. This practice is not about perfection or constant serenity. Life will continue to ebb and flow, with moments of distraction and days when the mind feels anything but quiet. Yet each time you return, each time you choose to notice a single breath. To feel the weight of this moment, you strengthen the pathway back to presence. Like a well-worn trail through a forest, it becomes easier to follow, even when the noise of the world grows loud. In this gentle state of awareness, your manifestation practice transforms. No longer is it a distant goal or a desperate plea. It becomes a natural conversation with the universe. Your calm mind acts as a beacon, sending clear signals into the quantum field. And as those signals ripple outward, you begin to see how effortlessly life responds, meeting you with the very experiences that match your quiet, powerful presence. Intuition. Your quantum compass. Imagine a quiet signal beneath the everyday noise. A subtle pulse of guidance that seems to know the path before you take the first step. This is intuition for your built-in quantum compass. It speaks in feelings, hunches, and sudden clarity, often arriving when logic has reached its limits. For centuries, mystics described it as the whisper of the universe, while modern scientists now trace it to the seamless dance of the brain, body, and the invisible field that connects everything. Tonight, as you listen, allow yourself to settle into that mystery and feel how your own inner knowing has been with you all along, across history. Cultures have honored this hidden sense. Ancient navigators felt it when stars were hidden by clouds, and sages trusted it when no map could guide them. These stories echo across time because they reveal something universal, an ability to sense the next move before it is visible. Neuroscience finds a clue in a way your brain processes vast amounts of information beneath awareness, picking up patterns faster than thought. Meanwhile, quantum physics suggests that possibilities exist in a shimmering field until observation calls them forth. Could it be that intuition is the bridge between these worlds, a biological receiver tuned to a cosmic frequency? Consider the quiet moments when you have felt an unexplainable pull, a sudden urge to change your route, only to discover a needed encounter. A gentle hesitation before signing a contract, later proven wise. These are not coincidences. They are subtle signals arising from the same field that moves galaxies and births stars. Your intuition is not separate from that dance. It is how the universe leans close and whispers through you. Picture it like a compass hidden beneath layers of thought. Your conscious mind may spin with questions, but beneath it, the needle remains steady, pointing toward the path that serves your highest unfolding. Trusting this compass requires more than belief. It asks for presence. When you pause, breathe, and listen without rushing, the quiet direction becomes unmistakable. Like a sailor reading the winds, you learn to sense the invisible currents guiding you. Science offers gentle confirmation. Researchers studying the gut feeling reveal a network of neurons in the heart and gut that communicate with the brain in ways beyond ordinary cognition. These subtle messages often arrive as a soft sensation of warmth in the chest, a flutter in the stomach long before the mind finds words. Ancient mystics spoke of the same signals, calling them the language of spirit. Across time and culture, these two perspectives meet in a simple truth. Intuition is both a human faculty and a cosmic dialogue. To deepen this dialogue, cultivate stillness. Spend moments each day away from the clamor of screens and schedules. Nature, with its quiet rhythms, is a perfect teacher. As you walk beneath trees or sit beside flowing water, notice the gentle tug of insight that arises without effort. It may come as a sudden idea, a felt sense of yes or no, or a calm clarity that needs no explanation. In these spaces, intuition speaks more clearly because the noise has softened and your quantum compass can point true dot as you begin to trust these subtle nudges. Life starts to reveal a new kind of choreography. Doors open at just the right time. Conversations arrive like answers to questions you never voiced. The more you honor these signals, the stronger they become, forming a feedback loop of trust. You are no longer forcing outcomes. You are partnering with a field of possibilities that responds to your quiet awareness. This is not blind faith. It is a practice of noticing and aligning. Each choice you make, when guided by intuition, sends a ripple into the quantum field, shaping the reality that unfolds. Like casting a stone into still water, every decision carries energy outward, attracting experiences that match the frequency of your inner knowing. Your intuition, then, is not just a private guide. It is an active participant in the creation of your life's story. So tonight, as you breathe and drift deeper into relaxation, remember that this subtle sense is always within reach. Your quantum compass never fades. It waits patiently for your attention. When you follow its quiet direction, you are not only listening to yourself, you are listening to the universe itself. And as you embrace that connection, you will discover that every choice you make becomes a signal to the cosmos, calling forth the next perfect unfolding of your journey. Choice points. The quantum mechanics of decision. Imagine standing in a quiet forest just before dawn. The air is still, a soft silver mist hanging between the trees. Each path before you is hidden until you take a single step, and as your foot meets the earth, the trail ahead glows faintly, as if the forest itself has been waiting for your decision. In this simple image lies a profound truth about the nature of choice. Every decision we make, every yes or no, every pause or leap does more than change our schedule. It shapes the very reality we step into, like the first shaft of sunlight splitting the mist in the realm of quantum physics. Scientists speak of possibilities existing in a state of superposition where multiple outcomes hover like shimmering potentials until observation brings one into focus. While the mathematics is complex, the heart of the idea is breathtakingly simple. Reality waits for a decision. Much like a musician holding a pause before striking the next note, the universe holds a silence of infinite possibilities until your choice sets the melody in motion. Spiritual traditions have whispered similar wisdom for centuries. From ancient mystics to modern mindfulness teachers, there is a shared understanding that free will is more than a philosophical concept. It is the very spark of creation within each of us. Your choice is not just a response to life. It is an act of co-creation. Each time you decide, you participate in the unfolding of destiny, as if the universe itself leans in to listen and align. Consider the small decisions you make before the world fully awakens. The choice to breathe deeply instead of rushing out of bed. To smile at the reflection in the mirror. To send a kind message to someone you care about. These seemingly ordinary moments ripple outward in ways you may never fully trace. Like the gentle drop of a pebble into a still pond. Each decision sends waves across the fabric of time, touching shores you cannot yet see. Even the grand crossroads, choosing a career path, beginning a relationship, leaving a familiar comfort for an unknown adventure, are not sudden arrivals. They are built on countless tiny choices that have quietly prepared the ground. Each moment of awareness, each small act of courage, is like placing another stepping stone across a river. By the time you reach the far bank, you realize you have been building the bridge all along. This is where free will meets destiny. It is tempting to imagine destiny as a single, fixed story, unaltered by our actions. Yet what if destiny is more like a vast garden of paths? Your free will is the lantern that illuminates one path at a time, while destiny is the garden itself, full of possibility, waiting for you to explore. Each decision is a gentle turning of the lantern, revealing a different trail, a different vista. The quantum metaphor offers a modern echo of this ancient understanding. Just as a particle exists in many potential states until it is observed, your life holds countless potential futures until you choose. Observation in physics collapses the wave of probabilities into a single reality. Likewise, your conscious decision collapses the infinite maybes into the one living moment you now inhabit. This is not a dry equation. It is the poetry of existence, where science and spirit meet in a quiet nod of recognition. But choice is not merely about logic or strategy. It is also about presence. When you pause before making a decision, you step into the stillness where possibilities live. This pause is not hesitation. It is a sacred space, like the hush before a prayer or the breath before a song. In that pause, you sense the subtle threads connecting your inner world to the vast cosmos. From there, your choice carries a deeper resonance, aligned with something greater than the noise of everyday life. Think of your life as a grand tapestry. Each choice a single thread woven into patterns only time will reveal. From a close view, each thread seems small, even insignificant. Yet, with distance, the design becomes clear. The color you choose today, the direction you take tomorrow, each is part of a masterpiece in progress. And like any great work of art, the final image is not predetermined. It evolves through the living act of creation. This understanding invites a new way of moving through the world. Instead of fearing decisions or clinging to certainty, you begin to see choice as a dance with the unknown. The unknown is not a void to be avoided. It is the very canvas on which destiny is painted. When you step into it with awareness, you discover that life responds, offering unexpected connections and synchronicities, as if the universe were a partner in the dance. So tonight, as you reflect on the choices before you, large or small, allow yourself to feel the quiet power in each. Let your mind soften and your breath deepen. Recognize that you are not a passive traveler on a fixed road. You are the co-author of the story, the one who gently collapses the infinite into the living present. And as you wonder how to sustain this awareness, how to carry the sacredness of decision into every day, know that the path continues. In the next part of our journey, we will explore simple, powerful rituals that help you keep this luminous perspective alive in the rhythm of daily life. Daily rituals to anchor your quantum path when the first rays of morning touch your window. They carry more than light. They carry a quiet reminder that each day begins as a blank canvas, waiting for the colors of your intention. Before the noise of the world gathers, pause. Let your breath deepen and settle like mist over still water. In this soft space, whisper an intention, not a demand, not a checklist, but a gentle statement of the energy you wish to embody. Perhaps it's clarity, perhaps it's compassion. The universe listens less to the volume of your words than to the steadiness of your heart as you breathe. Picture your intention as a single spark resting in the center of your chest. See it brighten with each inhale, casting a warm glow that expands beyond your body. This is your morning alignment, a quiet handshake between you and the quantum field. A subtle agreement that you are co-creating this day. You do not have to force anything. You simply allow the spark to become the guiding note that hums beneath every action you take. After setting your intention, move gently into gratitude journaling. There is a different magic in putting ink to paper. The act of writing slows the rushing mind and grounds your thoughts like roots gripping fertile soil. List 3 moments of grace you already carry: memories, friendships, even the steady rhythm of your own breath. Let the gratitude settle and notice how the air around you seems to soften. In quantum terms, gratitude is more than emotion. It is resonance. By naming what you cherish, you match the frequency of abundance and invite more of it to flow. Some mornings will feel bright and easy. Others will be clouded with doubt. On those heavier days, let your ritual be a gentle anchor rather than a test. Even a single line of gratitude, "I am thankful for the gift of another sunrise," is enough. The universe does not measure your worth by how much you write, but by the sincerity that rises quietly from within. As the day unfolds, weave mindful micro-practices into the ordinary. While washing your hands, feel the cool water slide across your skin and imagine it rinsing away stale thoughts. While walking from one room to another, Notice the subtle shift of light across the floorboards, as if the universe is winking in small, private signals. These micro-moments require no extra time. They are simply pauses that remind you that every second is part of a larger, breathing cosmos. By late afternoon, when your energy begins to waver, pause for a brief recalibration. Stand near a window, or, if you can, step outside. Let your eyes rest on something alive. A tree, a patch of sky, a single flower curling toward the sun. Take 3 slow breaths and imagine your earlier morning spark meeting the vastness of the sky. This simple act of noticing reconnects you to the quantum dance of all things. You are never separate. You are part of the same unfolding pattern that guides galaxies and whispers through leaves as night gathers. Allow your evening ritual to become an echo of the morning. Light a candle, not for its flame alone, but for the atmosphere it creates. Watch how the flame sways and bends, a silent lesson in both focus and surrender. This is the hour of reflection. Pick up your journal once more and let the day pour back through your memory. What surprised you? Where did you feel most alive? Where did you sense the universe nudging you toward something unseen? These are not questions for analysis. They are invitations for a quiet discovery. If the sky is clear, step beneath the moonlight, even for a minute. The cool night air against your skin is a reminder that the universe is vast yet intimately near. Close your eyes and imagine the moon pulling gentle tides within you, as if your own body were an ocean responding to a cosmic rhythm. Let this awareness soothe the mind. In the hush of moonlight, you are not separate from the great unfolding. You are one of its luminous threads. Before sleep, offer one final breath of gratitude. Thank the day for its lessons and its mysteries. Thank the quiet spaces where you heard whispers of your own quantum path. Let your final thought be a simple trust that even as you drift into dreams, the universe continues its patient work, weaving your intentions into the fabric of tomorrow. These rituals, morning intentions, mindful micro-moments, evening reflections, are not tasks to be checked off. They are gentle companions on your journey. They remind you that alignment is not a distant goal, but a living rhythm, available in every heartbeat. And yet, as you stand at the edge of this rhythm, another question naturally rises like a tide. How do you carry this sense of vast destiny when uncertainty inevitably comes? The answer waits in the next step of the journey, where mystery itself becomes your greatest teacher. Embracing the unknown, the art of surrender. There comes a moment when the mind's need for certainty begins to feel like a heavy coat on a warm spring day, protective, yet suddenly unnecessary. You may sense it when life refuses to follow the neat map you've drawn, or when the path ahead dissolves like mist, no matter how tightly you plan. This is the quiet invitation to surrender, not as defeat, but as an act of profound participation in something larger than yourself. Imagine a river winding through a wild valley. Its waters never strain to carve their course. They move with the landscape, finding their way with an effortless grace. The river does not fear the bends or the rapids, nor does it demand to see the ocean before it flows. It trusts the pull of gravity, the unseen intelligence of nature, guiding it home. Surrendering to life's current works in much the same way. When you release the grip of control, you don't stop shaping your journey. You simply allow a greater wisdom to help shape it with you. Ancient Taoist philosophy calls this art of effortless action Wu Wei, which means doing without forcing. It is not laziness or apathy. It is the courage to act in harmony with the rhythms of existence. Like a dancer moving with the music rather than against it. You become attuned to subtle signals that the rational mind often overlooks. Each step is still yours, yet it is guided by a flow, both intimate and infinite. Think of the night sky, where stars shine not because they fight to be bright, but because they simply are. The cosmos unfolds in silence and order, galaxies spinning in a choreography we can barely fathom. To surrender is to recognize that you too are part of this grand design. The same forces that guide planets in their courses move through the pulse of your own life. The unknown ceases to be an enemy. It becomes the very canvas of possibility. Modern science gives us a mirror for this mystery. In quantum physics, particles behave as if they respond to the presence of an observer. Reality is not a fixed script, but a field of probabilities, collapsing into form as awareness touches it. In the same way, when you let go of rigid expectations, you open a door for outcomes more surprising and beautiful than anything the conscious mind could have planned. What we call coincidence may simply be the universe's way of revealing that it has heard your deepest intentions. Surrender does not mean abandoning your dreams. It means releasing the tight timeline and the specific picture of how they must unfold. Recall a time when something unexpected brought you greater joy than what you had originally asked for, a friendship that arrived through an accidental meeting, a career path revealed through a setback, a blessing that only appeared when you stopped searching so hard. These are not accidents. They are quiet confirmations that life's intelligence is both subtle and immense. There is a certain freedom in admitting that you cannot control every twist of the journey. Like a sailor adjusting the sails rather than commanding the wind, you learn to work with the forces around you. Your effort becomes more focused, your heart more open. What once felt like chaos begins to resemble a hidden pattern, a larger story in which your role is both unique and interconnected. And in that recognition, fear begins to soften. Uncertainty no longer looms as a threat, but beckons as a mystery. You discover that letting go is not the same as losing. It is, paradoxically, the very act that allows you to receive. You make space for guidance, for grace, for the quiet alignment of your life with something vast and benevolent. As you breathe into this understanding, notice how the tension in your body eases. You are not withdrawing from life. You are stepping more fully into it. Surrender becomes the highest form of co-creation, where your choices and the universe's design meet in a dance of mutual trust. From this wider perspective, your personal destiny is no longer a solitary journey. It is a thread in the tapestry of human evolution, woven alongside countless others across time and space. To surrender is to feel the pulse of that greater story moving through you, carrying you toward experiences that awaken both your individual soul and the collective heart of humanity. In embracing the unknown, you discover a truth that sages and scientists alike have whispered through the ages. Life's deepest intelligence reveals itself not when you grasp for control, but when you dare to let go. And in that letting go, you finally flow like the river, shine like the stars, and find your place in the boundless unfolding of the cosmos. Collective awakening, humanity's quantum leap. Imagine for a moment that every silent meditation, every small act of kindness, every moment you choose awareness over reaction is like a single drop of water falling into an endless ocean. At first, one drop seems insignificant, but when millions of drops join together, they become a tide, an unstoppable current reshaping the shores of human consciousness. Your personal awakening, subtle as it may feel, is part of a much larger movement, a quantum leap that humanity itself is beginning to take. Throughout history, there have been moments when the collective mind of humankind shifted in ways that seemed almost impossible until they were already underway. Think of the Renaissance, when art and science flourished and the idea of human potential bloomed beyond what anyone had imagined. Or the Age of Enlightenment, when reason and curiosity lit the path toward freedom of thought. The digital revolution of our own time, connecting billions of minds instantly, has transformed the way we share knowledge and experience. These shifts were never the work of a single individual. They were waves of awakening, set in motion by countless people who dared to see the world differently. Today, something just as profound is unfolding. Beneath the noise of everyday life, more and more people are sensing an invisible call. It might come as a quiet yearning for inner peace, a sudden realization that life is more than routine, or a spark of compassion that refuses to be ignored. These are the subtle signs of a global awakening. They ripple through families, communities, and nations, reshaping how we view each other and our place in the universe. Quantum physics teaches us that the observer is never truly separate from what is observed. When we change the way we see reality, reality itself responds. This isn't just poetic metaphor. It's a principle that echoes through science and spirituality alike. Your thoughts, your intentions, your state of consciousness, these are not private, isolated phenomena. They are threads woven into the fabric of existence. And when enough of us shift our inner state toward clarity and compassion, the very nature of the collective field begins to change. You might wonder how something as personal as your morning meditation, or a single forgiving thought could matter on such a vast scale. But consider how a single candle can illuminate a dark room, and how one flame can light countless others without ever diminishing itself. Each moment you embody presence, you create a subtle vibration that invites others to remember their own light. Transformation spreads, not through force, but through resonance. Look around, and you can sense it. Movements for social and environmental healing are rising across the planet. People from different cultures and traditions are finding common language in compassion and shared humanity. Ancient wisdom, from the quiet teachings of Buddhist monasteries to the mystical insights of Christian contemplatives, is meeting the latest discoveries in neuroscience and physics. Science and spirit, once seen as separate, are beginning to converse, forming a bridge that invites us into a deeper understanding of who we are. This collective awakening is not about everyone agreeing on the same ideas or following a single path. It is about a shared recognition that beneath the surface differences of culture, belief, or background, there is a deeper unity, an interconnected web of being. When you choose to live from that awareness, you help to strengthen it in the human story. Your personal transformation becomes a living example, a quiet but powerful reminder that a different way of being is not only possible, it is already unfolding. And just as the Renaissance artists could not fully see the world that their work would inspire, we too may not yet grasp the full scope of this global shift. But imagine the generations to come looking back at this moment in history. They might see it as the time when humanity turned inward to remember its own essence, when billions of individual awakenings merged into a single wave of evolution, as you feel yourself part of this grand movement. Notice how it deepens your own journey. You are no longer walking a solitary path. You are a vital note in a vast symphony of consciousness. Your choices toward kindness, toward awareness, toward love resonate far beyond your own life. They echo into the collective, shaping a future that is both luminous and unknown. Now, as we prepare to close this exploration, let the realization settle gently. Your awakening is inseparable from the awakening of humanity. Every breath of presence, every act of compassion, every quiet moment of insight is a thread in the fabric of a destiny being fulfilled. The story of our species is not one of chaos alone, but of a quantum leap, a shared evolution of heart and mind. And you, right here and now, part of this unfolding miracle, living your quantum destiny. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that every breath you take is a brushstroke on the canvas of reality. The air that fills your lungs is not merely oxygen. It is a possibility, pure and unformed, waiting to be shaped by the quiet power of your awareness. The journey you have taken through the realms of manifestation, ancient wisdom, and the subtle dance of the observer effect has been more than an exploration of ideas. It has been a mirror reflecting the infinite potential that lives within you. Now, as you return to the rhythm of everyday life, you carry this mirror with you. Each morning is an unwritten page. When the sun rises, it does so not only across the sky, but also across the landscape of your consciousness. Every choice you make, from the way you speak to the way you pause to listen, ripples outward like a pebble dropped into a still pond. Quantum physics hints that the very act of observing shifts the reality observed. Ancient sages, long before science named it, taught the same, that attention is the seed of creation. You, too, are both observer and creator, a quiet architect of each unfolding moment. This understanding is not meant to stay locked inside a meditation cushion or a late-night video. It belongs in the heartbeat of your daily routine. It shows itself in the gentle patience you offer a stranger, in the silence you grant yourself before answering a difficult question, in the way you notice a bird tracing circles in the sky, and allow that small wonder to fill you. These are not small acts. They are living proof that the quantum destiny you seek is not far away. It is the life you are already living, seen with fresh eyes when doubts creep in, and they will remember that uncertainty is not the enemy. The very fabric of the quantum world thrives on possibilities that cannot be fully predicted. Your own life is enriched by the same mystery. Instead of fearing the unknown, you can lean into it, trusting that the field of infinite potential responds not to control, but to openness. Intuition becomes your quiet guide, a subtle compass that whispers before words can form. Think of intuition as the gentle current beneath the surface of a river. You may not always see it, but you feel its direction when you surrender to the flow. This is not about abandoning choice. It is about aligning with a deeper wisdom that arises when mind and heart meet. Ancient traditions speak of this as listening to the voice of the soul. Modern science may describe it as the coherence of mind and body. Different languages, same truth. There is guidance within you that knows the way. Manifestation, too, becomes less about grasping for outcomes and more about entering into a relationship with life itself. Rather than demanding a specific shape, you become a co-creator who delights in the unfolding. Like a gardener who tends the soil and trusts the seasons, you plant intentions with care and allow the universe to surprise you with its timing. Every intention is a note in a symphony already playing. You are both composer and listener, both the music and the silence between as you move forward. Consider how each moment offers a choice to react from old patterns or to respond from presence. Presence is the quiet miracle that turns the ordinary into sacred ground. Washing dishes, answering emails, sitting in traffic, these too can be acts of creation when touched by awareness. The observer effect is no longer a theory, but a living practice. Your attention shapes the quality of every experience, infusing it with meaning and light. Perhaps you will find that the most profound transformations are the quietest. A softening of judgment toward yourself, a breath taken before speaking. A sudden gratitude for the curve of moonlight across a dark sky. These are not dramatic gestures, yet they carry the power to reshape reality. In their simplicity lies the true art of quantum living: to notice, to honor, to participate in the mystery without needing to solve it. And so we arrive at a gentle farewell. This is not an ending, but a threshold. You have traveled through ideas that span the wisdom of ancient mystics and the discoveries of modern science, through the hidden dance of particles and the luminous presence of the soul. What you have gathered is not a map to follow, but a way of seeing and understanding that your destiny is not somewhere out there waiting to be found. It is already unfolding within the very breath you are taking now. May you walk forward with a quiet confidence, knowing that the call of destiny is not a distant echo, but the living heartbeat of your own presence. Trust that each step, however small, carries the imprint of creation. And when night falls and the world grows still, oh, may you feel the universe leaning close, whispering the same truth it has spoken since the beginning. You are both the dream and the dreamer. Your quantum destiny is not ahead of you. It is you, here, now, alive.